Apropos of my dark video from a couple nights ago, wherein I discussed how when you are undesirable, you cease to be desirous, and how this is perhaps the solution to the problem of killing off one's sex drive, which I know for some people out there that doesn't seem like a problem. But for those of us concerned with proper stoicism, with manful stoicism, and ceasing to seek validation, and all these kinds of things, again, that I discuss in a great deal of detail in Ruminations of a Low Status Male, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Shameless plug, I know. But anyhow, I know I talked about that. I did that video in the dark, and some people were like, why did you turn off the comments? And I explained why I turned off the comments. But anyway, not to go over that drama again. But apropos of that entire subject, I want to talk about my experiences at the gym this morning. I'm a member of my local YMCA. I work out pretty much every day. When I say workout, it's mostly cardio. I don't really go in for, I don't even lift, bro. So yeah, judge me for that, if you will. But I wanted, I was in a room where I did a bit of stationary bike, and I did a bit of running on a treadmill, and it was a room where there were people who were setting out mats and doing stretching, and all of a sudden this girl who was maybe in her mid-20s, well put together, I can say that without sounding completely sleazy, I hope, even though I'm twice her age, short shorts. She came in and she started like stretching in a manner that was like she had no real care that a man was behind her, watching her. I mean, it wasn't like it was necessary or that I had to watch her, but there was no. It was in my immediate line of vision, like just a few feet away. She's sticking her rear end up in the air and stretching, with her back turned to me, but aware that I was there the whole time. And, doing all these kinds of provocative stretches, which I'm sure they were legitimate stretches, don't get me wrong. But the fact that she chose that particular spot on the floor right in front of me to stretch in this manner, well, it got me to thinking about how I would have responded to this 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I would have thought, I know this is kind of embarrassing to say, but I would have thought, she likes me. She's trying to get my attention. She must be attracted to me, and this is, she wants to show herself off. She wants to show her body off to me, and so I would get some kind of ego boost out of that, silly and ridiculous as that seems now. That was how I used to think, and that is how I think I'm using myself as an example here. I'm making myself I'm picking on myself. That's the phrase I was trying to think of. I've had teachers from time to time say, "Oh, well, I'm not picking on you, but blah, 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 blah." If they use your answer that you gave as an example of something, a wrong kind of thinking or whatever. So I'm picking on myself here, but I could have been any other man. I could have been someone. I could have been someone else, and the same notions and ideas would apply. The point is, now at age 50, having ceased to feel desirous or desirable, and thus ceased largely to be desirous, I sort of was thinking to myself, she just is doing this because, it's nice to get attention. It's nice to get validation for being young and having, a nice looking body. And it's not about me at all. It's not, you could substitute somebody else for me where I was. I don't think there's no way she could have been oblivious to the fact that somebody was there. she could have stretched in the opposite direction, and not, thrust her buttocks in my face, not in my face, but in my immediate line of vision. Instead, she faced away from me and positioned herself in such a way that I would get the eyeful of it. But again, the trick is to understand this is just something that women do for attention. That's it. It's all for attention. It's not because they like you. It's not because they're interested in you. It's not because they want you to flirt with them. It's not because they have any interest in you whatsoever. And I'm just the scales fall from one's eyes once you get to a certain age and you see certain things for what they were, and you realize, God, you're such an idiot, because you want so badly to be validated yourself. And I mean, in a way, this girl, is seeking validation in her own way. But in a way that I think is more typical of women. And for men, it's like this wanting to be validated and like wanting to read women's behavior in a way that is favorable to oneself, or that that lets you take it personally in a good way. Like she must like me. She must be getting off on the thought that I'm staring at her, which I wasn't most of the time, because again, when you're not desirable, you're not desirous that much anymore. So even though it was in my immediate line of vision, I was mostly just looking at my phone, watching Sam Hyde videos as I was working out. Anyhow, it just that seemed like a real was it a teachable moment? Such an annoying phrase, but I'm going to use it. It's a teachable moment. It's a moment where you're able to teach yourself in this quest to cease to desire validation, in this quest to cease to be like some of you would say, blue-pilled. I don't like I just don't like jargon, damn it. So I'm not going to put it that way. But to cease to be deceived, to cease to want to have your ego tickled, and even though it's it's like there's something in the delusion of having your ego tickled that kind of puts a spring in your step and everything. That's understandable. That's just part of how we are designed. But we're also designed in such a way that we're supposed to transcend our baser design. So that's a kind of paradox that doesn't get a lot of play, but I think it's worth thinking about. You're designed with certain base drives and desires, but you're also designed in a way that if you discipline yourself, if you apply certain principles, and you work on yourself, and if you believe in prayer, and if you believe in the injection of grace into one's life, into one's daily experiences, then you also have the design to transcend your baser designs. That's something that, the kind of people who would say, hey, you're just a man, it's just going to be the way you're going to be, you're just a man, this is what men do, of course a man's going to ogle a pretty girl. Well, yes and no. So I don't know if I'm going to allow comments on this one either, because I anticipate getting some annoying responses. I'll let it go. I'll let it fly this time, and I'll just see. And if some of y'all just can't comment in a way that doesn't irritate me, then I might have to take drastic action. Hopefully that won't be necessary, though. So comment, make a good comment. Don't make a condescending comment. That's all. Thanks for watching. My name's Annie Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.